So guys, a throwback video of late Major General Rabe has emerged. This was the time he was serving in the Nigerian military. The late general was the spokesperson of the Nigerian military, guys. And in this video, he was heard saying, "We are winning the war against terrorists," only for him to be killed by terrorists in 2026. Like this person here rightly said, throwback to when the late Major General Rabe said they were winning the war against terrorists in 2026. Terrorists killed him, guys. This is what Nigerians are saying. Now, General Musa, who is the defense minister, has come out to say the military does not have enough weapons to fight insecurity, and is linking the shortage of these weapons to the war being fought by, the US and Iran, Russia and Ukraine war. Guys, like you can see this headline here says, Israel, Iran, Russia, Ukraine wars responsible for arms shortage. Nigerian defense minister Musa is that minister whom Nigerians believed in, that he was coming to save the country, only for insecurity to worsen under his watch. And now he is trading blame, saying that it's because they don't have enough weapon to fight the insurgents. And guess what? He's giving reasons for the shortage of, weapons in Nigeria, saying it's Israel, Iran war and all that, guys, that is causing all this problem. Ukraine and Russia war that is making them not to have enough weapons to fight the insecurity. He didn't make reference of many times that these terrorists have invaded the Nigerian military bases and carted away with our armory. Recently, they still invaded one of the military bases, and guess what? They killed our soldiers, beheaded them, and none of them was arrested. And each time they come, they cut away with weapons. Now we have shortage of weapons, guys. Nigerians, it will get to a point now that nobody will be there to even defend you because the military does not have enough. While the terrorists keep showcasing how sophisticated they are in terms of weapons, guys. Recently, we heard that even Lukarawa operates sophisticated AI drones, but our Nigerian military is saying we don't have enough, and trading blame, saying it's Iran-US war and also Ukraine-Russia war that has made Nigeria to fall short of enough weapons to fight insecurity, guys. Now, this former DSS boss is saying the president has to play very carefully if he wants to come back, just as Jonathan did. Stop the political campaigns and face the security problem frontally. Then let us go back to campaign again. Ex-DSS deputy director is telling Tinubu, why are you campaigning? You have seen campaign buses all over the places by Tinubu's government. Guys, nobody's paying attention to terrorists. Recently, the terrorists kidnapped in Oyo State. They went to Borno State, kidnapped students again. In Kogi State, they kidnapped students again. And there was intelligence that they want to kidnap students in Edo State. Now, the Edo State governor was saying, even if terrorists kidnap all of us, kidnap him. And the people of Edo State, they are still going to vote for the Tinubu's government. Now, guys, there are questions still emerging on how the terrorists were able to convey the body of the dead general to the Katsina State government, guys. Like you can see, this headline say, only Katsina government can explain how my father's corpses was retrieved from bandits then, guys. The children of the late general are accusing the state government of, having links to these terrorists, guys. And also, you can see that even the Katsina State governor want to buy houses for the repentant terrorists. Like you can see, terrorism victims left with no hope as Katsina government plan to purchase houses for repentant terrorists. Security expert condemns reintegration policy, guys. Part of the reintegration is to build houses for those who have carried arms against the state, guys. This is it. In northern Nigeria, criminality is being rewarded. Criminality is paying off, guys. People who have killed, maimed, abducted, raped women and all kinds of things are being rewarded monetarily. They come out to make deal with the government, and the government will have to pay them, and now the government also want to build houses for them, guys. This is what we are seeing. No leadership in Nigeria under the APC-led administration. They always want shortcut to challenges. Nobody wants to tackle it from the foundation. How dare you pay terrorists and then now you want to buy houses for them, guys? Let me know what you think about all this happening in the Nigerian political space. Drop your thoughts in the comment section, and please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification for more updates. Now take a look.
Guys, I'm trying to get this right. So, a whole major general of the Nigerian army was kidnapped by terrorists for about 2 weeks, 13 days in captivity. And we were not able to organize a rescue mission for this man. Even though the whole time they were telling us that this man has diabetes, he has hypertension. There's a video of him showing the wound in his leg, and they were putting leaf on the wound. His wife was with him in captivity. The whole time, the Nigerian government was not able to do anything. But the moment he died in captivity, we were able to recover his body. How? Like, when when they say that Nigeria is a country of major concern, it's a major concern, because make it make sense. How exactly did we recover his body? Did we go into the same kidnappers then that we refused to go to rescue him when he was alive to recover his body, or did they bring his body to us and those people were not arrested, because till now there's no report of anybody being arrested? Did they bring his body back to Nigerians and then they went back into their bush? What's really going on? This is exactly why Nigerians believe that the government knows the people behind the insurgency. The government knows the people behind this unrest. The government knows these terrorists. In fact, Nigerians believe that the government is working together with the terrorists, because tell me, if a whole major general is not safe, who is safe? If they will not go after a whole major general to rescue a whole major general, who will they now go and rescue? If they don't think the life of Baba, we are in trouble. And you know, the saddest part is this is not the first time that a major military officer will be killed by terrorists in Nigeria. It's just that we tend to be very forgetful. Let's not forget what happened to Brigadier General Zakusi. The man was killed in an ambush in Borno. They killed not just him, they killed many soldiers that were with him as well. Remember Colonel Aliyu Saidu Paiko? He was killed in an ambush by Boko Haram fighters. What about Brigadier General Musa Uba? It was ISWAP that ambushed his convoy and they killed him. What about Lieutenant Colonel Ibrahim Sakaba? There was literally a massive assault on his battalion. They killed so many soldiers along with this man. What about Brigadier General D.U. Brima? He was killed in Borno alongside other troops. And there are so many others, many other top-ranking military officials that have been killed by terrorists in Nigeria. Please, what are we doing? What are we doing when our military men and women are being killed like chicken? These are just some of the top ogas that I listed. Do you know how many soldiers have died that they need to die? We already know that a lot of these terrorists, because they will always tell us that they pardon them, they will say they are giving them orientation, they want to integrate them into the society, and then many of them join the military. So doesn't that tell us that the military itself is compromised? That so many of them that are in the military, they will be working with those that are still outside to kill our military officers. When are we going to wake up? When are we going to stop this menace of saying that the terrorists are repentant, they should be integrated into the society? This is unbelievable. Right now, Nigerians are circulating pictures made by AI that the terrorists came, they handed over the body and they went back. Nobody was arrested. Like, what's really going on? I don't know. This is just, hey. And the Oyo children are still there. The Borno children are still there. The same day that the Oyo children were kidnapped, 42 children were kidnapped in Borno as well. What are we really doing?
We are on course. Recently, we have rescued a lot of civilians from the terrorists, and I believe you must have read it on paper. Even last week alone, we rescued how many? About 300 plus children and women. And as long as we rescue this kind of thing, I mean, this kind of group of people, I will want to believe that rescuing Chibok girls is on side. Only that, you know, we have to be extremely cautious. We have to be extremely careful, and we are planning towards making a rescue that will be not just to rescue them, but rescue them with their unharmed and with their lives.
The military says it's winning the war against terror, and yet there's a video gone viral on the internet showing members of Boko Haram celebrating the Sabbath. What do you say to that?
The issue of that shouldn't bother Nigerians. We are done fighting. We know how far we have gone, and we know how far we are planning, and we will not be distracted from that. Those who are claiming to be celebrating Salah or whatever is for their own headache. As far as the Nigerian military is concerned, we are succeeding. We are succeeding, you know, in isolating them, and we succeeded. We are succeeding in ensuring that their hideouts, you know, have been completely trashed. And I am speaking with you. We'll continue doing that coordination of forces between the Air Force and Army to ensure that the so-called caught and uncaught terrorists will no longer going to have a prison space.
A former chief of defense staff did say that the military was not equipped enough to fight Boko Haram. Is the military now equipped to fight Boko Haram?
The average one you are having that we can be able to sustain is we are comfortable with it, and we are working with what we have, and what we have can sustain us, can make us to confront not only the so-called tagrags called Boko Haram, but any other post for that matter. And I'm assuring Nigerians that we are not leaving any stone unturned regarding this issue of terrorist activities.
The question is that there's a fundamental problem with our security architecture. Is that right? And you think that the government of the day is aware. But from your experience, retiring from a service which you served all your working adult life, if we are to start to reshape or fix the security architecture of Nigeria, where do you think we can begin from?
I think we can begin from the commander-in-chief. We can begin from the commander-in-chief. One thing, I don't know, you and I have discussed this before. The commander-in-chief is the one that is handling the problem. He's going to be supported by the legislature with laws, to do some of the things he wants to do. And I think he has a National Assembly that can support him wholeheartedly if they see that he's serious. So the buck stop on his table, and that's where we should start. Now, sometimes I feel sorry for the president because he is dealing with a myriad of all kinds of, variables, whereby as he takes one step, he's also being careful about, his political party, his supporters, trying not to step on certain toes, and that extends it when it comes to the political season that we are in. So you find out that it's a situation where he has to play very, very careful, and if he wants to come back as the next president. I've said it many places, just like Jonathan did. Stop the political campaigns. Face the security, problem frontally. Solve it. If we need help from outside, get it. Then let us go back to campaigning again, because if we are doing it, our attentions are divided, we are campaigning at the same time, they are attacking, people. I don't think people will even come out to come and vote.
Well, you have said that we see this trend.
Well, so that I did agree with you that I would only come on your platform if we are sure that your people are not just people who want to be titillated, who just want to hear. The talk is too much. It's time for action. So please, let's go ahead, as long as you remember my condition for coming back here.
Okay, so he gave his condition and he's reiterating it again. He wants to really focus on the solution, and especially us young people, what we can do, not just talking about the problem. And so I'm going to have him talk to us. Before we get to the solution, can you please tell us what you wanted to say about Abubakar Shekau when we were having the last interview?
Like I said, I don't think there's anything new. I was so shocked when people were saying some of the things I was saying. I don't think there's anything new about what I'm saying. Let's take the case of Abubakar Shekau, for instance, who died finally. Remember the fellow who took over from Mohammed Yusuf? Let's start from Mohammed Yusuf of Boko Haram fame. Remember that when Mohammed Yusuf was overrun, first of all, there was a person in that place who was standing next to a colleague of mine who Yusuf ordered his execution. But before they could kill him, he turned to the person next to him who was a deacon who spoke to me directly and said, "Tell my family I died well." And I remember very well that when he gave me that report, I said, the family he's talking about is the entire nation, is the entire church community as well of Nigeria. Now, Yusuf was kidnapped and he was summarily executed in the custody of the police. It was an inside job. If Yusuf had lived to speak, a lot of these things would have been exposed earlier. But Yusuf was terminated by inside forces. I remember that when I talk, I'm not concerned with only the Tinubu dispensation. The same way I spoke when Buhari was there is the same way I'm speaking right now. Whoever is on the throne must be held responsible. Yusuf was summarily executed without trial. To make matters worse, all the people that Yusuf had killed, nobody got any compensation. And I can count them in thousands. And the federal government ended up paying 100 and how many million? 100 and something million to Yusuf's family. That was when Shekau took over. When Shekau took over, he began to terrorize the country. And then the federal government made an announcement. Now look at the games they've been playing with us for a while in Nigeria. They made an announcement that they thought that he was killed, that he had been killed during one attack or so of the government. Now everybody knows that he was not killed. And then to make matters worse, he now came out publicly to announce that I'm not dead, I'm alive. Do you know how many times the federal government announced that they killed Shekau? Then they began to talk about that, no, it was a double. The war of narratives. They started again telling stories left, right, and center. Now, let me tell you how Shekau really died. The Shekau that the federal government claimed to be looking for and could never get all these years, it was when Shekau had earlier come out to confess, because when we were saying that what is happening in Nigeria is not a local thing, but a global thing. Global means it is global with a local face. The country was in denial. Now, he had come out to tell people, everybody clearly, that he was associated with ISIL. And at that time, I think ISIL was headed by, was it Musa Banawi? Whatever his name was. Whatever that guy's, I'll try to remember the name of the ISIS leader then. But then, what happened was this. Watch this, because this is where the solution lies. ISIS became very embarrassed the way Shekau was talking. I told you that Islamic religion, Islamism, is a cover for a supremacist agenda. They are not only after northern Nigeria, they are after the whole of Nigeria. They are not only after the whole of Nigeria, they are after West Africa. And after West Africa, it will be Africa. And I told you that when they found out that it was working against their interest in the international community where they are raising funds, and if you remind me, I will tell you a personal experience of how I had to talk to a church leader of about how many million people were in his church when we had to go and address him on how to talk. Because we said to you, media is a force expander. If you respond wrongly, it helps them, unknown to you. Anyhow, to cut a long story short, when the ISIL leader, Baghdadi, when the ISIL leader said, this is getting too embarrassing, and he sent a message to Shekau that he was to yield his position, and they were going to install somebody else. Now, don't forget that the terminology Boko Haram was invented by the Western press. It was a convenient coinage, because Yusuf's radical set had been operating in Maiduguri all along with the cooperation of the state government. In fact, let's go into that story. What really caused all this that people heard about Yusuf that Yusuf was captured in, I think, 2008, was simply because, listen to me, around that time, I wrote a report. I wrote a report on behalf of CAN, and I circulated the report to all the authorities who should have been able to do something. I said, something is brewing in Maiduguri. If you go to the Maiduguri, the Islamists had a special uniform for their police. They had a special uniform for their military. They were working freely. Their enclave was well known. And frankly speaking, they were working with the cooperation of the governor. What really transpired was that the people became so blatant, they got to a checkpoint where, of course, you know, there is the police, there's soldiers, or moped and all that, and they got so rude because they refused to wear helmets. They became an authority to themselves. Now, during one of those encounters, they had a skirmish, and they were so belligerent, they tried to attack the authorities, and one of them was shot in the leg. When the report got to Yusuf of Boko Haram, he became annoyed. So what is going on here? That's when he began to attack the government, to show them who is who. All along, the politicians thought they were controlling him. But he knew that he had a global backup. Al-Baghdadi was his global backup. Many of them had been for training outside of Nigeria. So when they killed Yusuf and put him there, when Yusuf now got belligerent, and then they ended up capturing Yusuf, the person who was with him the day he was captured told me one-on-one when I was taking my reports. Now, they now gave an order when Shekau began to talk about the kidnapped girls, how he's selling them, how he's doing this and all that. In the war of narratives, that painted Islamism in a negative way. So I'm telling you that this Hydra is extremely intelligent. So they tried to replace him. What the federal government could not do, all these years making noise about looking for Shekau, it was actually ISIL that now sent in the replacement. I think the replacement was called, what's that guy's name again? I'll remember his name in a few minutes. The replacement that was sent to replace Shekau, they stormed Sambisa Forest. There was a degree of firefight. It was not the federal government that took out Shekau. He had put on a suicide vest. So when the forces of ISWAP, by them, I think they now call them ISWAP. It was Abu Musa al-Banawi, yes, that was to replace him. When Abu Musa now came, I mean, the advanced team that was supposed to capture Shekau and make Shekau give up, don't forget that by now, those loyal to Shekau were fighting those who are loyal to ISIS and ISIL. Because ISWAP had now come up, that is Islamic States of West African Province. Now, when they thought they had got him, he exploded his suicide vest, taking out himself and all the commanders who are asked to come and take him. Listen, if there was no global media and all that, why is it that African nations are so mendacious, outright liars, deceiving people? Instead of, listen, nobody can ever beat this Hydra if the entire nation doesn't work with you. You must build consensus in the entire nation. So that game has been going on, and that game continues. And what I'm saying here, there's no secret about it. Go and check out media globally. There's nothing I've said here that is even new. It's only that in Nigeria, where the media is so corrupt, and the ones that are not corrupt are moles, so they control what they want you to hear. And I'm really embarrassed and I'm ashamed. Let me mention something here that I find very annoying because of the alleged. Right now, the church in Nigeria is supposed to take the forefront in making this nation survive. Why do I say so? Because of the religious cover, the Islamist cover of this terror hydra, this local terror hydra. The mosque is under pressure. It's understandable. Every Muslim who says, no, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, I don't want to cooperate with just killing people, they take them out. So you would think that it's the church leaders who, on behalf of not only Christians, on behalf of Muslims, on behalf of everybody, the church is meant to step up. Since we are the first that were killed for the first 15 years that we were being killed, that's how, in the field, I gathered so much experience. I said to you that in those days when I began to talk about asymmetrical warfare, hybrid threats, I introduced those terminologies into the lexicon of the Nigerian public, because I remember talking about all these things. What makes me ashamed, honestly, is that people that God has positioned, who should be standing up, especially even in this government. There's one young man in this government, I hope I can remember his name, he's a minister. His father was butchered in Kaduna. In one of those skirmishes, I can't remember, I think it was a Zagun Kataf or so. He's a minister now.
Minister of Interior.
Minister of Interior. He was, I think, about 10 or 12 years old. His father refused.
Dr. Olubumi Tunjojo.
God bless you. His father is the Tunjojo there. His father was in the streets, died in his own blood. The man now who is whining and dining. Hello.
Why was his father killed?
Because he refused to convert.
From
Look, if I sit down and I give you, oh my God, The number of people who were killed just because they refused to convert under duress. Listen, one thing that has to be protected if Nigeria will make it is religious liberties. We'll come to that because there's a solution.
So what are you saying that the pastors are supposed to, the Christian religious leaders, what should they do?
I told you that you need to extract from your audience. First of all, I told you that there are two generations. There is a generation that I don't trust in Nigeria. My generations, older generations. I talked about 30 pieces of silver and people who are speaking from both sides of their mouth. And sometimes those who even want to speak, they speak in a way that it makes this matter even worse. So I told you that except your followers and your people in the younger generations, now what percentage of Nigeria is about 65? I think about 6% or so of Nigerians are about 65, above 65 years of age. The greater majority of Nigerians, and just like other African countries, are youth.
In fact, 42% are under like 15 and under. Almost half is 15 and under. Yeah, and the median age is 18 years old actually in Nigeria. So
okay, let me tell you what we are going to change now. I'm determined we are going to change this. Go to every African country. All their plans is for old people. Nobody has a plan for the younger generations. What nonsense. Nobody will be here forever. We are the circumcision. We worship God in the spirit. We rejoice in Christ Jesus. We have no confidence in the flesh. And I cannot imagine that our generations will come with all the advantages we enjoyed, with all the things that God has given to us. And then we sit down. We are watching a country in which young girls are going into prostitution. Married women are going into prostitution. The poverty has been so weaponized. There's no truth anymore in the entire country. People are suffering. Brilliant people go to college. They come out. There's absolutely no employment for them. Then you go around and you know what the truth is? We have devalued life so much. We have completely devalued life so much. And let me tell you something about Nigeria. Nigeria's destiny is to be the redemption nation of Africa. And that's why I want you to do something on this your platform. Before the colonizers came, we were not speaking French or English. Thank God now for the advanced technologies, AI and all those things available. Make sure your program goes into French. Why am I saying so? To win this war, I want to give you a clue. If you are relying on this older generation of compromised persons, these persons who have surrendered to the Cairo-Terrorian conspiracy. Cairo-Terror is the genus of a bat, B-A-T. They've surrendered to it. Many are ready to be so mendacious. They are not even ready to stand up for truth. They couldn't care less. It's a generation of Ahabs. But the best that we can do right now is for us to ideate the younger generations, equip them with understanding and knowledge that will help us to win this war in Nigeria. So it has to be all the youths of Africa, all the youths of West Africa. Listen, translate your program to French, because I'm going to be instructing some things and giving some counsel to the younger people. Break down the colonial barriers. All these so-called fake barriers that were erected to divide and rule Africa must come down now. It's part of it. Why? The Nigerian youth on their own cannot win this thing. But when we show you what to do, you will find out that it is very easy.
So guys, let me quickly take you to more headlines as regards to what's happening in Nigeria today. This person has said, the state of insecurity in Nigeria is alarming. Goodluck Jonathan had only one school abduction, and the APC took the matter to the White House. Today, Tinubu had over 9, and you say we should not talk about it, guys. Tinubu has almost 9 abduction cases, and for them, Nigeria is still safe. The governor of Edo State was saying that, you know, you can kidnap all of us, even himself, the governor, that they will still vote for Tinubu. That is what we are saying. That these people are just playing with Nigerians. Now, can you believe that there was a time over 3,000 repentant Boko Haram members were, released into the society at a stretch? The latest one is 722 persons, but there was a time they released 3,000, like you can see, over 3,000 repentant Boko Haram members swearing with the Quran that they will completely disassociate themselves from any form of extremism. Guys, how has this helped Nigeria? It has not helped the country in any way, guys. It hasn't. As Nigeria battles more insecurity, in Nigeria. Now, this headline says, look at the number of soldiers protecting Boniface and Onyedika on their way to the stadium for their gala march in Awada, Onitsha. So the military was the one protecting them. Yes, that's what Nigeria has become to avoid being kidnapped, guys. To avoid being kidnapped, you know, you have to be protected. This one says, in a sovereign country, terrorists kidnapped, killed, and handed over the body of a major general and walked away unchallenged, guys. This is what is keeping Nigerians talking, that these terrorists actually came out from the forest, handed over the body of the general, and went back unchallenged, unquestioned. Guys, this is what we are seeing. Disturbing video shows some vigilante allegedly beating men and forcing them to enter patrol vehicle. No Nigerian should be subjected to such humiliation. Repost, guys. They were using knife to beat people. Using knife, guys. Using knife and tag the Nigerian police. Guys, this is why when they talk of security, community policing, people keep wondering if it will ever work, because these politicians take over. How can Soludo, the professor, be the one that has this group of people, guys? This one, almost all the states in Nigeria have become APC states. So this same reason that that has made federal government unable to fight and defeat terrorism will equally be a problem for individual states under state policing. Okay, this man is saying almost all the APC, all the states are now APC states. So even if they set up, you know, community police, that it will still not work, because the APC is protecting terrorists. You just have to know that the APC is protecting terrorists, guys. Just in responding to the abduction and death of retired General Rabi Abubakar, the Defense Headquarters Joint Task Force Northeast has commenced a fresh major offensive named Operation Clean Sweep 3 across Matazu local government area and neighboring communities in Katsina State. Now, after the man had died, you know, Nigeria always acts when the evil has happened, guys. When the evil has happened, that is when Nigeria will come for you. Will come to rescue you. Why do women post have naked videos of themselves in the internet? Nigerian lady ask. Okay, that is on another topic, guys. So you can see that people are saying that this government is not serious. 31 days after Oyo school abduction victims and family face renewed hopelessness as Tinubu government record no breakthrough in rescue effort despite deploying 1,000 forest guards. Guys, we are just playing in this country. Hey God, we are playing, honestly. We are playing. If the Hausas wake up and face the Fulani square, the area where Nigeria will experience progress. Fulani is the problem. Guys, this person is saying if the Hausa community can rise up, that the Fulanis are the main challenge. I don't serve mortals. I'm not your type Nigerian Christian, and I don't want to be actress Nancy. I'm not your typical Nigerian. Okay, this I don't know why all this talk. So guys, I don't know what you make of the wahala between Wike Boy, Olayinka, and Isaac Fayose. Olayinka made a post about Dino Melaye not using a plate number on his Rolls Royce as lawless, and Isaac Fayose clapped back. Okay, let's see how everything is going. You know, this man has been accused to have a kind of getting information that is not supposed to be public from INEC, and we don't know what is happening. This man say, Mumu, there is no space for plate number in front of okay, Mumu, there is no space for plate number in front of Rolls Royce because you are born poor, you won't know. I have the same make of Rolls Royce, no plate number space in front. Your Gawike and Fayose get Rolls Royce, they don't have plate number in front too. Try and upgrade yourself. You don't see small money now. So these are two people clashing, but I don't think that's the concentration for now. Kidnapped tricycle, Dennis Izuchukwu Okechi secretly passed his location in Ibu during a ransom call, helping secure his rescue in Abia State. Yoruba people don't have this luxury because the Fulanis already speak and understand the Yoruba language. The Fulanis also speak Igbo now. They also speak Igbo. So this guy was able to pay Azo, you know, when he made call, you know, on the ransom, and that's how they were able to locate them, guys. It's always good to be very smart. You know, it's very, very good to be very smart. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification for more. Thank you.